Hello folks, good morning. Just let me know, can you guys hear me loud and clear before we start? And after that we can start. Please let me know in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, thank you guys, thank you for letting me know. So I'm watching Dow. Today Dow has very interesting levels, and today Dow has visible higher time frame equal lows on sell side liquidity. So that's something to watch. So I thought, like, why not watch it with you all? Okay, so let's go to higher time frame and let's see what I'm talking about. I'm on 50-minute chart, folks, and as you guys can see, we have a new week opening gap right here. I'm expecting a possible rejection in price from the consequent encroachment or the midway of this new week opening gap. Okay, so I'm gonna be waiting because we have a high pick news coming at 9:45, I guess, PMI. So PMI is tradable, folks. I traded it before. Like the inside news, not waiting for news to release but pushing button before the news actually releases. I did that and I made money in that. I also lost money in PMI. So to me, the way I see PMI is that if my high probability setups are visible, I'm willing to risk some money on PMI only. That's the only high impact news that I trade like before it releases. So we have a high impact we have a new week opening gap here from this candle's body to this candle's body. We have this gap, so this is working here as a new week opening gap, and the sell side liquidity that I'm watching is right here. These relative equal lows, the price generated overnight, is looking to me, it's looking like very attractive for price to come down and reach again, deliver liquidity down here. And we have war going on, so yeah, price can easily come down and deliver liquidity down here, but I'm not gonna target all the way down here. Okay, if a price is potentially presenting a setup, then I'll only target this BC, which is staying at a discount. If I measure from this low to this high, this is the dealing range here. Our premium is up here and our discount BC is right here. Because what happens sometimes, like, price don't take out these relative equal loads at the same day. Okay, so we never know, like, when price will clear it out. Price will present some signal, some confirmation, but that doesn't mean that it will reach all the way down here. If price is going below this BC, like if price is closing a candle's body below it, below this 15-minute BC, only after that we can expect to see some movement towards here. But until then, this is gonna be a low-hanging fruit for me, easy target, because we also do have a breaker here, this up close candle working as a breaker here. Price already basically like got support from these breakers, and I thought the people who were in my 3-day bootcamp, they already know it as an immediate rebalance, because that's when we expect it, right? When price is closing a candle's body above for the first time, that's when we expect to see an immediate rebalance. When price is retracing back to a previous breaker, we expect to see price delivering in a high resistance liquidity run. That means what? I already taught this in my 3-day bootcamp. So if price is retracing back to this previous breaker, that's when we expect to see high resistance liquidity run. Okay, that means what? When price is delivering with choppiness, it will also generate high probability target. That means what? Relative equal highs. So if price wanna get support from this bullish breaker, I would like to see price generating relative equal highs before dropping here. And as I told you guys, I'm waiting for a rejection from the midway from the midway of this new week opening gap, or the upper quadrant that you guys can see 0.75 from here, because this is the premium level of the measurement of this new week opening gap. Okay. So on 50-minute chart, you guys can see price came down, hit this order block, and now it reversed. Why it reversed? If I take you guys on ES, as you guys can see, we have relative equal highs up here, which were more like a SMT before, because of this. Okay, if price is generating SMT, I basically don't trade SMT because that is working as a relative equal highs. To me, I want to see price clearing relative equal highs before going down. That works as a strong confirmation for me. So this is the SMT with Dow. If I take you guys on Dow, you guys can see price did made a higher high here. On Dow, you guys can see it's a higher low. So price just basically coming up after hitting a discount PDR to clear this out. We also do have relative equal lows present on ES. So to me, I'm not gonna buy today. I'm waiting to short because of the relative equal lows that market presented in front of me. Look at the relative equal lows down here, then relative equal lows all the way down here. Again, I'm looking at 3-minute chart because 1-minute chart is basically a lot more choppier than it is on other clean days. So when price is like very choppy on 1-minute chart, I trade on 3-minute. That gives me a clear view of what's going on. So we do have relative equal lows down here, and on higher time frame we have a trend line liquidity right here. So I'm expecting to see price coming all the way down and clearing these relative equal lows out. On Nasdaq, we also have this relative trend line liquidity plus a unfilled fair value gap. So price may not reach all the way down here, okay, but it can possibly reach down to this fair value gap, which is staying at discount. That's the reason I told you guys that on Dow I want to see price coming down and trading inside here, because as you guys can see, these lows are quite far compared to other two charts. And here Dow is very strong compared to Nasdaq and ES. Nasdaq and ES are delivering like very slow compared to Dow. So what I believe is Dow will eventually reach here, and Nasdaq and ES, they will clear out the relative equal lows down here. And Nasdaq is looking good though. Like look at the low here. Plus we have relative equal high here on Nasdaq. So if price is delivering to our sell side liquidity, what I will consider as a high probability is something like this: price coming up, clearing out these relative equal highs, and then going down, possibly forming a breaker here. We also do have a CB here. Do you guys can see it? Let me mark it. So we do have a small CB alongside with this breaker here on hourly chart on NQ. So this is a higher time frame breaker, and in my 3-day bootcamp I taught you guys how to look at the higher time frame breakers, right? If a breaker is present on higher time frame, we do follow certain rules. We do not treat it the same way we do a lower time frame breaker. So we do have a breaker here, very clean breaker. So this breaker is coming with this fair value gap, plus we have relative equal highs here. So what is high probability to me in this scenario? Let me mark some things for the new guys. So we have a new higher high. This is what making these down close candles a breaker, plus we have this CB down here, relative equal highs, and we have a BC at discount. So there's all the markings, and I would like to see price coming up, clearing out the relative equal high at 9:45, possibly like at 9:30 hitting this, then before 9:45 dropping down here, generating a breaker somewhere around here, and then we can trade off this and target this BC right here. Okay, so something like this will interest me a lot on Nasdaq, and this makes sense to me. Okay, this is something that I saw happening over and over on chart. So if price is doing only something like this only, then I'll consider to push the button today. Otherwise, I'm just gonna wait and see if there's any potential high probability setup that price is forming. But so far it looks like it's gonna go up, right? And even on 50-minute chart, you guys can see these lows are very clean, and we do have this relative equal high here. I believe this is SMT, so this one should get broken. And yeah, so let's go back to Dow, and as you guys can see, price is coming back up, and I want to see price hitting this midway 0.5 level before dropping down. And if price drops down, we do have a BPR that is working as a high probability target down here. Right, so I would like to see what price does inside the measurement here, inside the premium of this new week opening gap. And after that, possibly price is forming any breaker here, I would consider it as a high probability setup. So what I'm expecting to see, price forming a high here, then a low here, then going up, okay, hitting the 0.5 level, then this down close candle, we can consider it as a breaker, and ultimately price reaching for this BPR. But it's just something that I want to see, folks. It's not like this is exactly what's gonna happen, so we'll have to wait for price to unfold its hand. I believe it's going up, because if you guys go on ES and look at the 3-minute chart, price did generated a lot of relative equal highs here. So eventually if price is reaching higher, then this is the level that I'm watching, 0.5. okay, this is where price will get sensitive. So I want to see a breaker forming here, and if price does form a breaker here, that's the only thing that will interest me. So day 3 of my bootcamp is gonna be, I believe, on 5th or 6th of November. Okay, I'm yet to make all the contents. That's what taking a lot of time. Okay, it's not something like I'm taking time without any reason. You guys saw how I presented day 1. So making all those content takes a lot of time, and I'm not yet done making all the content. So I'll just wait before I present everything in front of you all. So yeah, I'll just tell you guys to be a little bit more patient. So the more unfilled fair value gap price generates, the more it will give me confidence to push button here once price reaches all the way up here, because unfilled fair value gaps are more powerful than normal fair value gaps. It attracts price like a magnet, just like a relative equal low does. We do have another relative equal low down here, this swing low, then we have another swing low right here. We don't need a swing for it to consider a swing low. Sometimes I see folks getting confused with that. The only thing that matters is that we have to have a middle candle and 2 candles right next to it higher than the middle candle. That's what makes a swing a high probability swing. It don't necessarily really require a swing low, like a week. That's what I mean. Like it don't have to have a wick. So if it doesn't have a wick, that means what? It's a relative equal low, and this is another low. So that's also something that I'm watching. So price did another stop hunt here, but I'm still expecting to see price reaching higher. This is more like a SMT. If you guys look at ES 3 minute, you will see that ES is yet to take out this high. Do you guys see it? Look at here. ES did clear out the relative equal highs from here, but it's yet to take this swing high. So I believe they both will reach higher, Dow, ES together, and I'm expecting to see a rejection from the 0.5 level. So look at the time, folks. Okay, this is what's the most important part of trading. Now it's 8:35 and after 8:40 till 9:20, that's the time period when I consider price to become like choppy or deliver liquidity in high resistance, because that's what my experience says. Okay, after 8:40 to till 9:20, that's when price becomes choppy. It does things that I don't like not reaching for a certain level but just consolidating inside it. So that's what I would like to see, price reaching with high resistance liquidity all the way up here, and at 9:20 potentially price forming a breaker here. Okay, that's what I would like to see. We still have time. I'm not gonna do anything until 9:20, so if there's no possible setup at 9:20, then 9:50 macro is also there, right? It's gonna be right after the news release. I already told you guys like when the next day is gonna be, so I believe you guys are not watching the videos that I'm uploading in my private Telegram group. Please watch it without skipping. There I'm already mentioning time, so to me I'm not gonna say the dates again. Okay, just go and watch these videos. Every video that I recently uploaded 2 videos, and inside both of the videos I told you about the time when the day 2 bootcamp is gonna be. So you just have to go and listen to it. Okay, that's it. So I'm not gonna mark anything here because nothing here is high probability. Okay, without time I don't consider anything as a high probability, so I don't have any interest marking any levels here. But if price wanna come down, then this inversion, I would like to see price getting support from it. We also have a breaker here that failed to support price towards sell side liquidity, so this breaker now resistance turned into support, if I put it this way. So I would like to see this breaker sending price higher, possibly here. Vladislav, I clearly did say that day 2 is gonna be on that day. Okay, so just go and watch. Don't try to do it like this. I didn't say any word about third day in any recording. It's always about the day 2. Daily CB above, also PMI might drive it there. There's a daily CB. Let's see. Let's see if there is any daily fair value gap. Oh, you guys are talking about this one, but new week opening gaps. Okay, we'll see. But if this new week opening gap is not holding, the 0.5 level, if it's not holding, then yeah, possibly we are going there. But I would like to see this one holding price first. Okay, sending it lower. This is good now. And if price does hit this level here, I'll take you guys on 30-second and we'll trade there, okay? On 30-second chart, because what I've been trading like on 30-second for last 2 months. So yeah, it's good. It's like I get more high probability setups on lower time frames. I get more setups to choose from. On 1 minute chart, yeah, it seems like boring to me right now, so I'm basically trading on 30-second. So yeah, if any potential setup forms on 3-minute chart, then I'll drop down on 30-second and use that 3-minute chart as a higher time frame and execute on 30-second. That's how I will do it. So let's see what happens. So as you guys can see, before the news, the delivery is quite not as volatile as we expect to see. It's because of the time is not aligned with price right now, or the model that I'm looking for. So this is the time periods that I avoid, folks. Before high impact news, the macros I avoid it. The only macro that I use is 920 to 940 before PMI, okay? It's only applicable when I'm trading PMI. Other news, other high impact news, I'm only executing after the news. But on PMI, we will see if there's any potential setup. I'll execute. So on ES, as you guys can see, price do have this relative equal low. This is the reason that I'm not expecting price to reach to the daily fair value gap, because of these short-term liquidity levels. Okay, price can reverse, but I'm expecting to see price clearing these levels out first and then reversing. If it want to deliver towards buy side liquidity, it can, but first it will have to come down and clear out liquidity from here. These small levels, these relative equal lows, folks, it will attract price like magnet. You guys will see either before the news release. So if price wanna reverse at news, okay, if price wanna deliver liquidity at news, buy side liquidity, then what will happen is that price will clear these levels out, these relative equal lows, before the high impact news, and at high impact news it will reverse. But if price don't do that, what will happen is price will just gravitate towards these relative equal lows if price is not clearing it out before the high impact news. Vladislav, yes, I'm using premium trading view premium. You cannot split charts like this without premium. So yes, I believe you are very new to trading, Vladislav, right? Oh, do you expect 930 Judas to deliver slow because of news? Not really. Like PMI, I told you guys that this is tradable, so yeah, I'm not expecting anything, but from my experience, what I saw, that price does forms high probability setup before PMI. So if it does that, only if price forms a high probability setup before PMI, I would like to see it deliver with volatility. And if there's no high probability setup, then we do have 950 macro, right? So we'll see if prices, so there are a couple of ways to know, like inside macros price will deliver with volatility. One thing is that if price is delivering in a high resistance liquidity run before the macro, then at macro we expect to see volatility. So as you guys can see here, price is delivering in a high resistance liquidity run, right? With a high resistance liquidity, what do I mean when I say high resistance liquidity? Like with choppiness, price is I know that price will reach for this level, but it's not reaching with speed, rather with low volatility, low volume right here. So when price does this, it also gives me confidence that inside my macro, price will deliver with liquidity with high volatility. So if price is not becoming volatile before macro, then at macro I'm expecting to see high volatility. So that's how I look at chart. Thank you, the classic. What's your favorite macro time? So yesterday someone was asking me, like, if I had to pick one macro, what would it be? So it's gonna be 920 to 940 macro. The most of the time, like if I show you guys my journal, I'm only taking trades inside this macro. I'm getting done. So to me, 920 to 940 macro is the highest probability macro that I trade. To me, just a personal preference. It's not like it's gonna be the same macro for you, because 920 to 940 macro is kind of hard. If you are a beginner, if you are a newbie, I would suggest you like not to trade with live funds inside this macro, because you never know as a newcomer how 930 will open, right? So what I do basically is I trade 930 opening. That means what? I'm entering on a trade before the 930 volatility comes in, and yeah, that's what I'm doing. There are a couple of things that helps me to like see where the 930 delivery will be, and I basically look for my high probability setup forming inside 920, inside the time period, inside this 9 minute 920 to 929. I like to see or I expect to see my high probability breaker forming there. Either I'm entering there as a turtle soup, or by using the breakers at 920 to 940 macro. So yeah, at 930, like price forms usually two types of setup, turtle soup and breaker. So what do you guys see here? Price is delivering in a high resistance liquidity run. What I want to see, price generating relative equal lows and leaving it and moving towards buy side liquidity. Okay, price did generate a relative equal high here. So when price does that, folks, it works as a confirmation for us that it wanna gravitate higher. So I'm just gonna put an eye here. I'm watching this level. I wanna see price reach higher, and we do have this inversion from where price can potentially get support towards buy side liquidity. So when I'm trading on Dow, I'm also looking at ES at the same time, because they move together. Okay, Nasdaq, sometimes you will see that Nasdaq is delivering opposite to ES and Dow, but ES and Dow, they both deliver together. So it's very good to spot relative equal highs or discount or premium PDA rates. Like on ES, if I take you guys on ES is quite delivering with volatility. On ES, you guys can see we have a fair value gap right here, right? But at the same time, price generated relative equal high here. So this is something that I'm watching. We also do have a volume imbalance right here, plus we do have this relative equal low. Price did cleared out this high here, this relative equal high here. So after price clears out one liquidity level, one strong liquidity level, we expect to see it reverse and clear out another liquidity level. But what I'm expecting to see is price leaving these levels for 9:30, and if price is not doing anything here before 9:30, that will work as a strong target for me. But this right here is a bullish PTR, folks, and we do have relative equal high paired with Dow. So this is the reason that I want to see price moving higher. So price okay, it didn't hit the inversion yet. I just love the way you say volatility. It's how do you say it? Volatility, right? Volatility, that's how you pronounce it. Volatility, right? Second favorite macro, there's no second favorite macro. There's only one macro that I love. It's 920 to 940. And if I'm not seeing any potential setup, I'm just getting done for that day, folks. Before I used to trade like 2-3 macros, but now what happens is that if I'm trading on my live funds, it's only that I'm looking at chart one time, because if I'm making like $500 in one trade, I'm happy with that. Okay, that was like 1 week pay for me. So in a week I look for 3 or 4 setups, and I'm expecting to see like 70% win rate. Then either 1 or 2 of these are losing or coming to break even, and other 2 trades I'm hitting the full profit. That's how I expect a week. That's a good week for me. If I'm only winning 2 trades in a week, that I would consider that as a good week. And slowly, because of me being patient, I increased my funds from a very low level to a higher level. I'm talking about my live funds. So even if I'm taking only one trade in a week, that's enough for me, because I'm making like more than $1,000. So that used to be my 2 weeks pay with overtime. 1,500. Yeah, that used to be my 2 weeks pay. I was getting paid like $21 per hour when I was working. So yeah, I'm happy with whatever I'm making. So the only macro that I use is 920 to 940. If there's no setup and I still wanna trade and chart is looking good, then I look at 950 to 1010. Then there's another macro, 1020 to 1040. That's it. By 11 every day I'm getting done trading. I'm not trading after that. So look at ES right now, folks. The discount PTR that I outlined, the logics that I shared, the price is getting support from this one, right? What was the logic? Price did generate a relative equal high here. Okay, price is leaving these relative equal lows, so price is following what I want to see. Okay, if price is doing that and it's reaching inside 920 period, that time period, then these relative equal lows, I would consider it as a high probability target. Plus, if you guys look at Dow did generate relative equal highs here. So let's see what price does. We are trading inside another ICT macro. This is 850 to 910. So let's see what price does. So far I'm liking this price action because it's delivering with high resistance. That means what? It's generating high probability targets for me. Yes, Hulk, I'll share the whole thing, how I trade 920 to 940 macro, what I expect to see in chart before price forms, high probability setups. Yeah, all that things are coming in our workshop. That's the reason I delayed the next lecture, because of that. I spent around 30,000 hours on ICT and his best students everywhere. HYDRA is still number one. Anyone disagrees? I'm not trying to be number one. I'm just trying to be a good one, okay? Like, I'm trying to help the community. So yeah, that's it. If even one person finds my stream helpful, that's it. That's the only thing. That's the only reason I'm doing it. Okay? I know I'm real. I make money from it. So I believe what I do is transferable. So if even 1 or 2% finds it learnable, so yeah, that's basically it. And not many people do what I do here, okay? Like, people do live stream, but they're either talking in, like, they're either using the previous chart or talking in hindsight, right? The most learning thing happens when you are trading live in front of someone, because that's when the price action is happening, right? In front of you. You don't know what's gonna happen next. You are calling market. That's when people learn most. That's the most, I believe, is the most important or most effective way of learning trading. Watching someone trade live, what they're avoiding, how they're looking at chart. So this is the thing that very few people do, because it basically fucks up your mind when you are taking losing trade. If I'm trading alone, I don't care, but when you are taking losing trades in front of a lot of people and they're judging you, that's the worst part of trading live. Right? Other than that, is I believe it's very informative to trade live. People learn a lot. I only saw Kit doing it, ICT Concept, if you guys know him. I believe you guys know him, right? So he is the only person I saw in our whole ICT community do live trading or like call price before what's happening. What about 1 minute chart? So 1 minute chart is basically the worst chart to look at right now. Okay, so I'm just avoiding 1 minute. We will look at 1 minute once we get inside 920 to 940. There are times when I expect to see high probability breaker forming. So for now, I'm not looking at anything. Okay, I want to see price coming here. That's the only thing that I'm expecting to see. Price reaching for this 0.5 level inside our new week opening gap. So that's the only thing that I want to see price doing. Other than this, I'm not interested in anything. So when 1 minute is not clear, I'm looking at 3 minute, because on 3 minute chart you guys can see price action is a little bit clear compared to 1 minute. So yeah, you have to know like when you have to avoid 1 minute chart, and this is something that you should avoid. Like, look at that. Price has liquidity voids, volume imbalance, a lot of choppiness, right? This is something we see before the high impact news, plus a lot of relative equal lows, folks. So not me, I'm not buying today. If price is clearing these levels out before 9:30, that's the only time when I will consider buying. But as long as these lows are staying before the PMI news gets released, my DOL is on sell side. How much volatility does one need? So that's a very nice question. I need volatility till price hits my TP. Okay, that's the simplest answer I can give you. After that, I don't care what price is doing. So look at ES right now. Do you guys see how price respects relative equal highs on ES? Right, I told you guys that this is a bullish PDA. What was the logic behind it? Price generated relative equal highs. Then I told you guys that I look at ES plus Dow at the same time. Dow also did generated relative equal highs. There was no SMT, so there's no logic for price to go down more on ES, rather to push higher from this bullish fair value gap, right? So what I wanna see, price clearing this swing high on ES, and on Dow price reaching for the consequent encroachment of this new week opening gap. Taras is asking, did you have a problem before with overtrading? Everyone has problem when they're starting trading. Everyone go through these phases. Overtrading, yes, I did had that. Like, I was trading every single macro and I was losing a lot of money. So yeah, that's a long time ago. But I was doing overtrading. How did I overcome it? By focusing on few macros. Like with experience, I saw that 920 to 940 is the highest probability, because that's when the volatility usually comes in. You know that inside 930 you will see volatility. In other macros you basically don't know. It's just your experience there. But 930, that's the reason I consider it high probability, because the volatility is coming in. You know that, like, at 930 opening, price will either tag buy side or sell side. You just have to find out that which way it's gonna go before the 930 opening. So that's something that I worked on for years, and after that, after years of practice, I believe, like, I didn't master it, because you never master market. That's how I see it. You only master yourself. You master your experience, your growth, and that's something that I believe I did at 920 to 940 macro. How long do you trade? How long do you trades take roughly? I believe you're asking like how long I hold. So max I'm holding a trade is like 10-15 minutes. Okay, my best trades are getting hit hitting my TP in like around 5 minutes because I'm trading on lower time frame. So my best trades are like 3 to 5 minutes. In between that time, price is either hitting my TP, but if it's like more than 20 minutes, I'm closing the trade, because yeah, there's a lot of time on lower time frame. Dimas, there's nothing that anyone can see for you to make you like not do these things. What I will suggest you is that to read Trading Inside the Zone. Okay, that's a book by Mark Douglas. I will highly recommend you to read this book. And yeah, that's the only thing that I'll suggest you, and try to follow everything that he says on that book about psychology. It's the best book available on market about psychology, Trading Inside the Zone. So read it and apply it in your life. And don't quit, Dimas. Like, every one of us went through this shit. Like, controlling our our mind, it's the hardest thing. Okay, that's the most important thing in trading. So you're born as a man, you fight, Dimas, and I know you will fight. So read that book and fight with yourself. There's nothing more to learn in the market. Even if you are trading with trend line, you will be profitable. That's what I believe. I saw people live trading in front of me with trend line and making hell lot of money. Okay, they don't know about ICT concepts or anything. They're not using anything like that. Just basic trend line theory, and they're profitable. So at the end, it all comes down to the mindset, trust me. Okay, so if you can control your mind, like, okay, I'm not gonna trade right now because my setup is not there, or I'm not comfortable, that's the time you should stop. Okay, and you should be trading only when you are willing to risk an amount of money. This trade that you are taking is not gonna be, there's no guarantee that it will hit your TP. No one can guarantee you that. So everything is gambling here to me. Okay, if ICT cannot guarantee me that this breaker fair value gap setup 100% of the time is coming out profitable, then it to me is, it's gambling. No one can do that. Okay, it's impossible. You will still have a losing streak. It can be low, like 10%, 20%, 30% of the time, but this is enough to fuck up your mind. Okay, so you will have to know that I'm gonna lose. So what I do in my trading is that my average win rate is from 60 to 80%. It depends on the month, depends on the weekly basis. Some week I'm performing very well, some week like I'm very down, but either way, I'm getting like around 60 to 80% win rate, but still 40% of the time I'm losing, right? So I don't know like when I'm gonna lose. I don't know when the losing streak will come. The losing streak can be like 2 losses in a row, or 4 losses in a row, 5 losses in a row. But ultimately, if I'm looking at the ratio, right, I'm winning 60% of the time. So when I'm losing in a row 5 trades, if my risk management gets fucked up, I'm done, right? So that's something that I learned from my experience, that it doesn't matter how many losses I'm taking. I just have to follow what I do, and eventually at the end of the day, I know that 60% of the time it will come out profitable. So that's the advice that I'll give you. Dimas, I forgot your name. Yeah, Dimas. Read that book, Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. Buy this book, not PDF, okay? Buy the actual book and read it. And that's it. Okay, trade on demo, because I know you are new, so you are not, it's not for you to trade on live funds right now. Trust me, you will lose money. So just stick with the demo. When you become profitable, or you are seeing consistent profit, only then move to a funded account, not even live funds, funded account. Try to do that, try to pass that. That's the advice that I'll give you. And as you guys can see, price did came back to an inversion, and now we are seeing some willingness in price to move towards buy side. So this inversion, I marked it before price did came down here, right? So this is the main learning points from my stream, folks. What levels I'm watching, because I'm telling you guys that this is the bullish PD area that I'm watching. If price is coming down here, then this level should hold, right? This is the level that I marked before price came down. I shared all the logic, like look at the relative equal highs here. Relative equal highs and lows attracts price like a magnet. So when you spot a relative equal high or low, the next thing you should be spotting is from where price can reverse, the premium or discount PD area. If it's a relative equal high, then you are looking for a discount PD area. Where was the discount PD area? This inversion, right? It's just there. So I outlined it in front of you all, and I told you guys, if price is coming down, then I want to see it getting support from here. Wasn't it clear? You could have put your stop loss. I'm not trading here, okay, and I'm not suggesting you to copy my trades, but you can copy the logic. The logic will stay longer with you if compared to if you copy one of my trades. Okay, if you are coming here to get a signal, that's it. Okay, once I'm done taking a trade, you are also gonna be done. You are not learning anything. But if you are coming here to see what logics I'm using, how I'm looking at market, this thing will stay with you longer than copying a signal, right? You will see the same thing again happening in chart, folks. This is the only thing that I want to see in chart, and this thing repeats. Now price is yet to hit the 0.25 level. So my high probability setup usually forms inside here. That's the level that I'm watching, but this is a premium level, new week opening gap, and price is now trading inside of it. It did a stop hunt, couple of stop hunt, and we are 10 minutes away to get inside our macro. Do you use the Dixie while you are trading? If I don't have a clean analysis on Dow, that's the only time I'm looking at dollar. But if I have a clean analysis on my own chart, I'm not looking at Dow. Okay, I'm only looking at Dow when I don't have a clean analysis on, suppose, on ES or Dow. Yes, Dimas, you're welcome. He's saying that thanks HYDRA, I feel numb, angry, depressed myself. I really want to change, so I must really change for myself. Yeah, you born as a man, my brother. Okay, you fight. You are a warrior. You will fight. You will fight with your mental things. Okay, your mental things are not perfect right now, but it will take time. But if you fight, if you don't quit, if you follow the process, you will reach there. You shall reach there. How much does it take to do day trading for a living? Is there a specific number we should aim for? Thanks for all you do. There's no specific numbers, but you should expect to see improvements inside you in 4 years. That's a long journey, okay? So you may have found success before that. I saw some people making money after just joining ICT for 1 year, but that's very rare. Okay, what happens is that people struggle till 3 years, and at the 4th year, that's when the profitability comes in. So minimum is like 4 years. This is the amount of time you should be giving into trading, because what happens in trading is that your model, you will see that 1 week your model is working, the next week your model is not working. 1 month your model is working, the next month your model is not working. Trading is not something that, okay, this model will specifically repeat at this time every single day. It's not happen like this. Okay, so when it's not repeating, how will you know that? You don't have any experience. So this experience takes time to build inside you. Once it's to me, I believe it takes like more than 2 years for you to understand the market cycles. How much percent do you risk per trade? On my live funds, 1%. On funded account, 0.5%. So what is price doing here, folks? Look at here. I told you guys that before our macro gets started, 920 to 940, I want to see price deliver in a high resistance liquidity run. That means what? With choppiness, and when price do that, it generates high probability target for us, relative equal lows, okay, unfilled fair value gaps, and that we can target this later when we spot our setup. We can target these levels. On ES, price is just consolidating inside the PT area that I showed you guys, the BC. Okay, just trading there. And on Dow, just like look at the volume right now. It's so low. And do you want to push button right now? No. Look at the condition in the market right now. This is the very thing you should be avoiding. David is asking, have you calculated the other side of the coin, which is risk to reward? It goes hand in hand with win rate. I basically target 2R most of the time, but recently I've been holding my trades for like 3 to 4R. So yeah, to me, I believe that if you are targeting 3R, then it gives you more chance to lose more trades. Okay, with 2R you need if you lose like 4 trades in a row, you are coming to break even. With 3R, I believe 6 trades in a row, then you are coming at break even. So it depends on like how well you can navigate with your model. So your model will have to provide you a good logic that I want to hold till 3R. If you don't see a target that is going to 3R, then why are you holding? Basically, with my model, I usually get 2R targets. So price generated another relative equal high again right here. So what did I told you guys? Once price generates relative equal high and low, after that what you will do, you will look for a discount PD area. If it's a relative equal high, then you will look at the discount PD area from where price can get support. Which discount PD area is visible here and makes more sense to you? Which one here? Bro, have you ever traded the market maker X models? What I'm doing here, I'm trading this market maker buy and sell model. I'm executing the very first first PD area when market reverses with breaker. Breaker is what? A reversal entry model. Okay, so yeah, every single time I'm taking a trade with breaker, I'm also trading a market maker sell or buy model. Hey Dale, good morning. So David is saying, I tried watching ICT live trading, but I feel like he spends 5% of the time talking charts and 95% rent, which is completely waste of time. So David, you are new, I know, so I will highly suggest you to listen to what he is saying, because he is not talking about random stuff. Okay, he's talking about charts plus how to control your emotion. That's the main thing he's talking about. Okay, that's the most important thing. So price did another stop hunt here, and now it's trading inside our inversion level. So another bullish PD area that is unfilled right now is this fair value gap, and we are getting inside our macro right now. Okay, so look at ES, folks. Look at ES. ES cleared out the relative equal lows right here, which I wanted to see staying untouched until our macro, until our this macro gets started. 920, so it just started right now. I wanted to see price leaving these levels. Now the price is clearing this level out. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Okay. So David, as I was saying, okay, so I was just like you. I was feeling like dumb, like what should I do? Why am I losing so much? And trust me, his spaces that he does, it helped me a lot. It gives confidence inside you. Okay, you need someone in your life to tell you that you can do it. You can do it. There's way. If you follow these ways, these things, then you can do it. Okay, and ICT is the guy. He's doing it for us for free. His long, boring spaces, these are so educative for your mental health. Okay, then his live trading that you were saying that 95% of the time he just speaks, he's talking about mental things, how you can control your emotion, at what time you should look at, what things you should be avoiding at chart. How do you think I knew it? I knew what to avoid because of this, because of his rent, because of his spaces. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, I don't like the way he talks, right? Why you need, you don't have, he don't have much hater, right? I believe 95% of the people supports him, but he goes for a talk for like 2-3 hours, talking about 5% of his haters. That's the only thing that I hate about our mentor, right? Why give them so much attention when you don't need to? You have so many supporters. People right now believe that it's algorithm that delivering liquidity, but still you will hear him saying there's no support and resistance and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the only thing that I don't like about him. Other than this, yeah, his every rant that he does is very educative to me. So okay, so this is not an inversion, this is a BC. So yeah, this is a BC. Let's see if price gets supports from here. If not, then if price is coming down and closing a candle body below, then I would like to see these down close candles working as a breaker. Okay, as we are trading inside our 920 macro. Another thing that I taught in my private mentorship, not a mentorship, like 3-day workshop, I taught you guys how to take entries inside by using these breakers. Before price activates a breaker, how to take entries using this. So we do have a PDR that formed inside this. I mentioned it as a Reaper. So we have a fair value gap that formed inside this Reaper. I would like to see price using this Reaper to get resistance to our sell side. This is a CB, and this CB is now at premium inside the breaker. That's why it's so important. And as we are approaching towards our macro, and as my target was sell side liquidity, but we still have this equal high here. Okay folks, so this is something worth watching, this equal high. I would like to see price getting rejection from this CB towards sell side liquidity. We do have a relative equal low down here, so the setup will be something like this, with a stop loss above the breaker, targeting right here. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's see what price does. I'm not taking this setup, I'm just watching, tape reading. Okay, this rail looks, this is good. this is something worth watching. Okay, this trade setup that I shared with you all, if you guys go and look at ES, okay, I'll take you guys, look at, we do have a breaker here, high, new higher high. So these down close candles right now working as a breaker, and we also have a fair value gap that formed here, plus we also have relative equal lows down here. So let's see if price is using this breaker to get rejection, sorry, resistance towards sell side, or to move towards buy side. Let's see that. So price hit this CB that formed inside this breaker. Now I would like to see price going down from here. Let's see what happens. Plus we have this relative equal low down here. So why am I not pushing button here? Because of the relative equal high that is staying here. Okay, I'm just gonna tape read this setup as it's before the high impact news, but I do see high probability targets like this relative equal low, this unfilled fair value gap, and ultimately I wanna see price reaching for this BPR. If there was like no relative equal highs up here, folks, I would have considered this as a high probability setup. But to me, I'm very specific when I'm trading a model, or if I'm spotting a setup, I want to see like everything aligned with high probability. Only when I see that, I execute. If you guys see my recordings that I share of the executions, there you won't see any relative equal highs or lows against on the opposite direction of what I'm trading. Okay, the levels should be clean, the breaker should form inside the macro, and there are a couple of rules. High probability target should be visible. So yeah, let's see. There's another reason that I'm avoiding it, because of the PMI. So it's just something that I'm tape reading. I'm saying it again, folks. Okay, so don't consider it as a setup that I'm trading. I'm not. And as you guys can see, price is gravitating back to this relative equal highs. If price is clearing this level out, I'm gonna push the button, because we do have relative equal low down here, right? This relative equal low. So if price is providing liquidity here, that will work as a strong confirmation for me to push the button. 1 minute before the volatility comes in. So let's see what happens. Let's see. So our setup was more like this, right? We are not thinking of the setup. There was a setup, and I told you guys that this is something, because of this relative equal high, I'm ignoring this setup. Okay, but this was a potential setup. So as you guys can see, price is now clearing out the liquidity from here, this relative equal high. So very nice. Let's see if price hits 0.5 level. Now this scenario is a high probability scenario to me. So let's see what happens, okay? Because there's no relative equal high right now, but there's relative equal low that is staying here. I'm still gonna wait. I'm still gonna give time for price to hit the consequent encroachment here. So this here was more like a SMT with ES. So let's see what happens. And just price is just moving higher, going above the new week opening gap. So as I told you guys, I don't have any interest in looking at here. If this level is breaking, I told you guys that price will possibly go towards the daily fair value gap. So let's see, let's go and see the daily fair value gap that is staying here. Daily fair value gap along with this fair value gap right here. So it's more like a BPR, right? But let's see if price forms any breaker after delivering liquidity here. So this is something. So someone was asking me here that will I expect volatility before the PMI release? So you saw it that there is volatility that came in. It only happens before PMI, and there's another one. It starts with C. I forgot the news name, but there's two news that is tradable. Is PMI, and there's another one. No, not CPI. CPI is not tradable, okay? Before, I'm talking about taking trades before a news release. So it's not CPI. Yeah, consumer sentiment. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Consumer sentiment and PMI is very much tradable. So let's see what happens. So this right here, this low that formed, it formed on Dow on 5-minute chart, and on ES 5-minute. Okay, so inside the 5-minute fair value gap on ES, it was more like a SMT. So even on 1 minute, no, there wasn't any possible setup that I would consider taking, because as you can see, like if I was considering this as a bullish breaker, price will have to retrace back inside this fair value gap for me to take any entry. So there was no possible entry right here, even on 1-minute chart. So we'll see, price is yet to reach this daily fair value gap. So let's see if price uses this new week opening gap as support, or it just gravitates towards the fair value gap. If price is hitting this fair value gap, folks, I'll look for a breaker forming inside here. I'll look for a breaker to form inside this daily fair value gap. $10 before our news gets released. PMI. Let's look at regular trading hours. And as you guys can see, we have a big gap below this new week opening gap on regular trading hours, right? So I would like to see price coming back down, filling this gap. There's no trading inside here, folks, so that's what I would like to see. And we do have a high here, a swing high that formed inside the daily fair value gap. So I will also be watching this swing high and see like what price does. Something to watch: if price clears out this buy side liquidity, price will also hit the daily fair value gap. And as I showed you guys on the regular trading hours, there price have a very big gap down here alongside with this BPR and this 50-minute BC, plus we have a relative equal low down here. NQ, yes, NQ is more looking like S&T, seek and destroy, right? But I want to see NQ clear out the relative equal highs. So what can possibly happen is that Dow and ES will deliver towards sell side liquidity and Nasdaq will move towards buy side liquidity. That's also something that can happen because as I can see on Nasdaq on 1 minute chart, price already did a couple of stop hunts towards sell side. So on 1 minute chart, as you guys can see, price did generated another relative equal high up here. So we know that this is a signal from price that it wanna gravitate higher. Now, once price does generate relative equal high, the next thing we do, what do? We outline a discount PD area from where price can get support. Right, so this is a very good discount PD area which is coming alongside with this new week opening gap, this fair value gap. This buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency right here. So price did came down to this new week opening gap and another discount PD array, this fair value gap. Let's see if price clears out this high here or not. See what's happening here. ES and Dow is delivering towards sell side liquidity, and NQ is moving towards buy side. So this is a very common scenario, folks. Like Dow and ES, they move together, and NQ does the opposite thing. And as I told you guys, I would like to see NQ take out the relative equal highs, because it already did deliver liquidity towards sell side couple of times. It did couple of stop hunt, where on Dow, price did a couple of stop hunt on buy side liquidity. Since I have found you, my consistency skyrocketed. Thank you HYDRA. You are welcome, Levine. Okay, you got a 6-hour trade on 32nd, 927 from 927 breaker. Okay, let's see. 927 breaker, where is it? This, okay, this is the one that you were talking about. Yes. Or I won't consider this as a breaker, because as you can see, there's no stop hunt here. A breaker requires a stop hunt. So you can either take this candle as a breaker, outline it on time and use it, or these down close candles are working as an order block here. These are not breakers. Okay, Levine, so yeah, I believe you took a trade by using these order blocks. Anyway, it was a good trade, right? It with a less drawdown, price just basically gravitated towards buy side. Okay, so price is now coming down. Price is now crossed the 0.5 level of this new week opening gap. Let's see what it does. We have this breaker here, so let's see if price comes back down and forms any potential setup inside this bullish breaker. We also do have a fair value gap here. Plus, price is yet to reach the daily fair value gap. So breaker, it was on NQ, not YM. Okay. Okay, Levine, congrats. You got a nice trade. Equal lows, yeah, we'll see. I don't see any potential setup. Okay, folks, it's just like aggressive delivery towards buy side. There was a breaker here, but it wasn't inside my macro. When macro ended, 940 macro price, that's the time when price activated this breaker. So I'm gonna wait for 950 macro to start, and our PMI is coming in just a couple of seconds. So as you guys can see, price did came all the way down towards the relative equal lows, right? So price cleared out the low here, the relative equal lows, and we do have this down close candle here. Yeah, I'm watching it. Nick ICT also traded, took a trade towards sell side liquidity, so I was right in that regard. I was lining my DOL towards sell side because of the relative equal lows, but I couldn't see any potential setup. Sorry, I didn't see any potential setup here. So we are getting inside 950. Let's see if price presents anything for us. We still have, okay, so I believe price hit the gap. Yeah, price did gravitated back towards this gap from regular trading hours. Okay, and yeah, I want to see price continuing its trend towards sell side, but we'll see what happens. We'll see if price forms any potential setup for us. So on 5-minute chart we have a BPR here. If you guys look at the 5-minute chart, we have this BPR which is at premium. So let's see what happens inside this BPR, and I still believe the price will get gravitated lower. So let's see, it's a 50-50 chance because price do have this relative equal highs, plus it also hit our regular trading hour gap. Okay, so price did hit this order block right here, and we have another order block down here, this up close candle. So let's see, I would like to see price going below this up close candle, and I do see a potential setup here, but we'll see what happens. We'll see. High probability is price reaching for this BPR because this BPR is at discount. Sorry, at premium. I'm saying discount. This BPR is staying at premium. So we are now trading inside our 950 macro. Price did form the relative equal low down here. I would like to see this BPR getting hit, folks. So let's see if price does that or just gravitates towards sell side liquidity. So on 30-second, I do see a potential setup. This is a breaker because price did a stop hunt here. Price generated a swing low, went below this swing low. Now let's see if price respect this breaker, or we do have relative equal high above this BPR, inside this BPR. Okay, so let's see what price does. What I would like to see is price closing a candle's body above these up close candles and then doing an immediate rebalance. So this is now working as our bullish breaker. Now I want to see this candle coming down, tapping inside this breaker, and then go higher. So something like this with a target of 2R. So price hit our BPR, right? What I wanted to see is price tapping inside this breaker and then going towards buy side, but it didn't. It didn't came inside the breaker. So I'm not interested in this setup anymore. I'm not interested in it. Price declared out the relative equal highs here on 30-second. On 30-second, I would like to see what price does inside here. Inside this PPR from 5-minute chart. NQ looks good for a short. Does it? NQ. NQ is revisiting the fair value gap again on 1 minute. So we have this down close candle here. Price is just choppy, folks. Like, look at the delivery here. Okay, it's just delivering with a lot of choppiness. That's what I don't like. But now that it's trading inside this BPR, we can potentially see a setup forming here. If price is not respecting this liquidity void right here, I believe we'll go higher and Nasdaq will go lower. If this is what happening, if price is not respecting this volume balance, that's the only time I want to see price going higher. So price hit our liquidity void again, right? I would like to see price now respecting this liquidity void. If not, we are going higher. Okay, what I would like to see is price closing its candle's body below this liquidity void, and that would work as a confirmation for me. This candle closed this body lower. Now I will wait for this candle to go lower. Okay, which is not happening. Price is not respecting this liquidity void, rather it's gravitating higher, right? So let's see what happens. We have this relative equal high here plus this buy side liquidity, this higher time frame buy side liquidity, which is staying inside this daily fair value gap. This breaker worked very good. The breaker that I outlined here on 30-second chart. Do you guys see it? We have a low here, right? We have a visible swing low. Then price came down here. We have these down up close candles here working as a breaker, but price didn't trade it inside here. That's what I was looking at, for price to trade inside this breaker and then gravitating higher. It just left without hitting inside the bodies of the breaker. So price is now in a deep premium level. So there's nothing that interests me anymore, folks. Like, there's no high probability breaker that I wanted to see forming, going lower, targeting sell side liquidity. Okay, we do have this fair value gap which is coming with this BPR. This should send price higher. So I want to see this fair value gap, okay, this 1 minute fair value gap working as a bullish PD array to send price higher. This one. So this is more like a BPR, as we have a fair value gap here, then we have another fair value gap here. So if I'm measuring it like this, it makes more sense. Plus we also have this new week opening gap, right folks? So let's see if this is working as a bullish PDRA, and ultimately I want to see price reaching higher, going above these relative equal highs and clearing it out. I don't see any breaker forming here, otherwise I would have been interested. There wasn't any breaker that formed inside here. So yeah, my high probability models is not here folks, inside these macros 950 to 1010, then 920 to 940. I didn't see any potential breaker forming inside the direction that I wanted to, which is sell side. Which was a sell side liquidity. Yeah, this price action kind of sucks because I believe the PM session will be very good, but this price action is not something that would interest me, because I wanted to see these relative equal lows getting taken out. Price did clear it out without presenting a potential setup, a clean beautiful breaker. And then I also wanted to see another breaker forming that will target the sell side liquidity at 950. It didn't form any breaker. Price just reached for the OT level, optimal trade entry, which will come right here, and now it's going down. So I don't basically trade off OT. What I like to see is price forming a breaker inside OT, which didn't happen here. Okay, so a couple of reasons that I didn't push the button. So let's see what price does. Now it's doing seek and destroy. Look at this folks on 5 minutes, then look at ES. Like it's coming up, right, clearing out relative equal highs, then dropping with speed without forming any potential setup, right? It's just respecting the old logic, the optimal trade entry levels. But I want to see a breaker forming when price is hitting the optimal trade entry, which it didn't here. So on higher time frame, it looks like a seek and destroy. Look at this delivery here after the PMI and before PMI. And now price did form the low here, sell side relative equal low down here. No, I don't see anything. Is this where value coming at premium? So let's see. This is our dealing range from this low to this high. Yes, this is something that is coming at premium. So let's see. We're still inside our macro. Let's see if this fair value gap sends price lower. We do have a relative equal low down here, right? We do have this high probability target. Plus we have an inversion here on 5-minute chart. Plus price generated relative equal high here again. So a couple of things that I'm watching. So something like this is now looking interesting. Now the price cleared out this swing high. Okay, I would like to see price rejecting from here and going lower. and targeting this sell side liquidity ultimately. If not, if price is still going higher, I'm not taking this setup, just tape reading, because I'm gonna be here with you all until 10:20 to 10:40. I'll look for a reversal trade inside this time period, 10:20 to 10:40. Until then, I'm just gonna wait, watch, and tape read with you all. Like this is what I consider as a low probability setup. So I'm not gonna push the button here. Just I'll outline and see if any setup actually works in this low probability condition, which seems like it's not respecting the PDA raise. Rather, it's generating SMT and more like seek and destroy condition, right? So yeah, I'll wait till 10:20. If there's no setup that is forming inside 10:20 inside the time period, I'm gonna be done for today. I feel like most of the time no gaps or breaker hold price, and I get stopped out more times. I don't know, I don't understand what you are saying, David. Like, you get stopped out more times with a fair value gap than a breaker. Are you saying it like this? So what I wanna see is that 10:20 to 10:40 inside that time period, price hitting this fair value gap, hitting this buy side liquidity, and then dropping towards sell side again. Okay, this is the last interest for me for today. 10:20 to 10:40. This is the time period I'll be watching with you all. Let's see if we can push any button here inside this time period. But so far it's looking very bad. Like, look at the time, look at on 15-minute chart. This is something that I personally avoid trading with. Yeah, I'm not trying to understand the price action. I'm just trying to see what price does once it reaches certain levels. Okay, I'm just ignoring everything here. I want to see what price does after it takes out the buy side liquidity here and the relative equal high here, as we have relatively equal low down here. Before, I wanted to see how price reacts inside 0.5 level of this new week opening gap, because that's where I expect to see price getting sensitive. And here price didn't do anything. Okay, price just moved higher and stopped here. It didn't even hit the daily fair value gap. So yeah, how I trade is that I watch certain levels, I mark out certain levels, and that's what I watch. If price wanna form a setup, if price wanna form my high probability model, it will do so inside these levels. If not, I'm just ignoring other times. Just like right now, we are not trading inside a macro. Okay, so we are trading inside a silver bullet, and 10:20 to 10:40, this is the time period that I consider inside silver bullet as a high probability. Now, in a good day, I would like to see this fair value gap hold price and send higher. Okay, because this when price forms fair value gap like this, and it has a near-term target like this relative equal high and this buy side liquidity, this kind of fair value gap works like a charm. But let's see what price does today. Okay, when we are tape reading, we are building our experience rather than looking for a setup. So yeah, let's see what price does inside this bullish PD area. And I'll be back when price is inside our macro 1020. Okay, I'm just gonna go and do some stuff, make a coffee, and then I'll come back at 1020. So I'm back, folks. Price did actually use this fair value gap to go higher, but after a couple of bearishness, like choppiness, right? But this is not a price action that I would be interested in. Like, look at the delivery, folks. It's not like price hitting this fair value gap and then moving towards buy side liquidity. It's not delivering in a low resistance liquidity run, but in a high resistance liquidity run. Price is so near to clear this level out, but yet it's not clearing it out, right? So this is what we consider as a high resistance liquidity run, and we avoid it. Look at NQ, look at ES. All of these pairs are just like the worst price action you can trade on. They're delivering liquidity in both sides of the marketplace. They're not clearing out like lows, more like it's delivering towards buy side on NQ. And this one, like, look at this, it was supposed to go higher after hitting this fair value gap, but now after clearing out this swing high, it's just coming back down again. So the last time that will interest me is 1020 to 1040, as I told you guys. Let's see what price does inside this time period. I would like to see price clearing these levels out. Now that price hit this fair value gap, right, we are trading inside our silver bullet zone. So this fair value gap should hold price to send it higher. So let's see what happens. No, I'm not interested in this chart anymore, folks. Like, to be honest, thank you for watching, but not something, this price action is not something that will interest me anymore. I'll find more peace just closing my chart and doing other stuff. Okay, today is not a trading day for me, so that's the reason I started live streaming, tape reading with you all. So this is gonna be the close. I have no interest to look at anything here, but potentially now that we have this relative equal highs here, what I will suggest to you guys, if you are still looking for a trade, okay, and if you want to hear my analysis from this dealing range, I would like to see price hitting here, and this is gonna be the discount. And also we have a breaker here. These up close candles that you see is working as a breaker. So what I would like to see is price going up, closing a candle's body here, okay, above these up close candles, and then coming down, retesting these up close candles and going higher. Okay, so let's see if price does that. But I'm not willing to tape read anymore. This is a worst price action that I can trade on. Look at other pairs, folks. They're not like in a correlation with each other. They're more like in seek and destroy. So if you want to trade, if you want to make some money today, I'll highly suggest you to wait for PM session, and possibly I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Okay, I'm trading tomorrow. As I can see, like we don't have any high impact news tomorrow. We do have, but it's at 4:35. So before that, I think we can trade AM session. So I'll do another session tomorrow, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow again with me. And I'm closing it here, folks. Be safe in this price action. Okay, I'm closing it here. Peace. See you guys tomorrow.